Hello and welcome to the news on HOMEF TV. I am Kome Odomo. Firstly, we want to thank you as subscribers and viewers for your support. It means a lot to us. Here are the highlights. One spill too many, Bian community suffers. The People's Tribunal on Environmental Injustice seeks community support. Arts and culture for socio-ecological change. Now the news in detail. In August 2025, a well-held blowout occurred in Bian community in Kano local government area of Rivers State, prompting a visit by the federal government delegation in December 2025, led by the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. He assured residents of urgent intervention, which prompted a visit by members of Health of Moderates Foundation. During the HOMEF team's visit, it was revealed that the oil pollution at the affected site has worsened, further devastating farmlands, rivers, and vegetation. The visit showed that oil spill had spread significantly, destroying more farmlands and aquatic lives, with no visible remediation containment efforts on the way. Our correspondent Onome Etisuru completes the report.
The magnitude of the spill is devastating. The extent of destruction on the farmland is massive, and the air quality has been dangerously affected. This raises critical questions about why aging pipelines have not been decommissioned, and the government has not taken action to prevent these recurring disasters. For the second time in less than 12 months, a massive oil spill has occurred, leaving residents in disbelief amid global focus on environmental sustainability and effective spill management. The pungent smell of crude oil could be detected from a distance, while mangroves, palm trees, fruit trees, and farmland lay blackened and lifeless.
We have seen the damage they have done. Maybe few individuals. All of us, we have come and we have shown concern. We are worried. It is directly from Mr. President. And we have visited the place. Already action, you have seen all the assets that have been mobilized to confront it and stop it. It has been stopped.
Speaking after inspecting the site, Executive Director of the Health of Mother Earth Foundation, Dr. Nimo Bassi, lamented the worsening impact of the spill, describing the scene as alarming. Also, an environmental activist and Niger Delta advocate, Celestine Akpobari, described the federal government's plan to resume oil exploration in Ogoni as unthinkable, given the prevailing environmental devastation.
One would have expected that after the visit of a top government functionary, of no less a personality like the NSA, National Security Advisor, with the Minister of Work and the Environment Minister, that containment will happen here, that government will come to remediate this place and even declare a state of emergency here. So I will want them to tell the part of it that I want President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to immediately declare a state of emergency in this community and put the pressure on oil resumption on hold, because this mess cannot be happening and you are talking about oil resumption.
When an oil spill, an oil well blows up, and we've seen this historically in many locations. We had it on River Santa Barbara in 2021. We've seen it at the Corridor some years back. And we've seen a number of oil. Once an oil well blows up like this one has done, the level of destruction is so widespread that just to estimate losses is difficult. So we need to have a proper survey, audit. This is why we've been asking for environmental audit of the entire Niger Delta, so that we get to know what the people have lost, what the communities have lost. Because at the end of the day, even if we restore the environment, we must also make reparation for the losses suffered by the people.
Meanwhile, the traditional ruler of the Bian community, Chief Lucky Bene Ewo, lamented that residents could no longer farm or fish due to pollution. The monarch called for a comprehensive cleanup, compensation, and a genuine commitment to the Ogoni Bill of Rights before any discussion of oil resumption could be entertained.
The president really is talking about oil resumption in Ogoni land. He should come up with the right thing. Let him set as an example, doing good things, doing something that we have interest that, yes, this man is coming for, oil resumption. And that will work well. Not only that, the Ogoni Bill of Rights is there. We have submitted it, and as well, we are talking about state, Ogoni State. Nothing in shores have come up. We have not seen any seriousness. And this thing happened People are dying every day. We are suffering, and everybody just want to abandon us.
The federal government delegation visited the spill site at the Yola oil field in the Pian community, Kana local government area of Rivers State, on December 22, 2025. During the visit, it was confirmed that the GIV conducted and duly signed confirms the spill resulted from equipment failure, not sabotage. HOMEF Visits, however, recommends that the immediate cleanup should be government's first priority, followed by environmental restoration and compensation for affected farmers and fishers, noting that plans to resume oil production in Ogoni without addressing existing damage would worsen the crisis. Onome Etisiro for HOMEF TV.
To mark the 65th anniversary of Ford Foundation West Africa, the Kebekase Women Development and Resource Center hosted a high-level public symposium highlighting the power of long-term women-centered investments under the theme Feminism and Social Development. The event gathered grassroots beneficiaries, government officials, and civil society partners to celebrate decades of frontline activism. Our correspondent Esele Ojanulu completes the report.
The Niger Delta is one of the most ecologically damaged regions in the world. Decades of oil spills, relentless gas flaring, and toxic waste have stripped the land of its fertility and turned rivers into graveyards for livelihoods. This documentary captures their lived realities. It peels back the layers of how environmental degradation erodes health, collapses food systems, and destabilizes families in an increasingly volatile climate. Central to this movement is the Kebekase Women Development and Resource Center. Backed by the Ford Foundation, Kebekase has spent years turning grassroots organizing into policy-level impact. From capacity building in remote creeks to demanding accountability from multinational giants, the mission remains clear: remediation for the land and a feminist future for its people.
It has done a lot to strengthen the institutional capacity of Kebekase, and by strengthening the institutional capacity of Kebekase, it also strengthens the work that Kebekase carries out in the communities in the Niger Delta, specifically making the contributions of women at the community level to be more visible at the national level, at the international level, and also creating that platform for community women to talk about their issues, articulate their issues, make their demands, carry out activities to hold governments and corporations accountable.
Where the man tries, the woman should also try. There should not be stereotype. When there is need for political positions, they say, somebody, we need people from here. Women should also be considered. When it comes to education, don't say, that guy will go marry you. When he marry, now let him go gay. I beg, make the boy go school. So feminism simply put is equality, equity, and equality.
We are products of the leadership. We know that everything starts and stops with leadership in this country. We are seeing how the country is going now. So a new breed of leaders is being sought after. And thank you for Ford Foundation opening our eyes to see, to confront the first truth, which is to lead ourselves as individuals. Be the change you want to see.
As the Ford Foundation celebrates 65 years in West Africa, the message from the Niger Delta is clear. The fight for environmental justice is and must always be a feminist one. Esele Ojanulu for HOMEF TV.
The People's Tribunal for Ahoda was organized by Social Action in collaboration with National Human Rights Commission. The tribunal provided a platform for victims, survival, and witnesses of human rights violation to present their cases, seek redress, and draw attention to unresolved environmental injustice. The tribunal was designed to enable human rights defenders to highlight cases that have remained unaddressed by formal judicial mechanisms. Our correspondent Stanley Egolo completes the report.
The one-day tribunal with the theme Justice for the Land, Justice for the People heard petitions and testimony from 4 communities. The aim of the tribunal is to receive complaints in a safe and credible space, document cases of victims unable to access regular courts, escalate issues to public attention, and drive policy reform, seek compensation for victims, and sustain advocacy with state institutions and human rights bodies. The tribunal, though symbolic, would contribute to legal action and advocacy and urged communities to assert their rights.
We campaign today against the backdrop of persistence and painful challenges of flagrant violation of human rights and the complete lack of accountability across Nigeria, and with particular intensity in the Niger Delta. The occurring cases of human rights violations, security-related abuses, and environmental injustices continue to expose deep and systemic gaps in accountability. Our citizens are often forced to endure arbitrary arrests, unlawful detentions, and the trauma of police brutality.
The four communities, Alabama community, Obaibe Mandoni, Obeli, and Rumwekbe, had different petitions against these oil companies ranging from oil blowout and fire by Ajib, any environmental degradation, marginalization, and lack of employment opportunities by oil companies, amongst others. Communities were advised to gather photographic, medical, scientific, and environmental data, follow up official spill reporting protocols, and present unified, well-endorsed petitions. The tribunal was widely regarded as successful, demonstrating the importance of public dialogue in uncovering suppressed environmental and human rights concerns. Stanley Yekolo for HOMEF TV.
Acts as a powerful catalyst for social and ecological transformation was the central theme of these events, which brought together poetry enthusiasts, activists, and creatives committed to fostering positive community change. Our correspondent, Mabel Obaseki, completes the report.
The program kicked off with enthusiastic students and volunteers passionate about poetry who shared their vision for stronger community building. Participants used copies of Akambanfina, Climate Chaos in the Animal Kingdom, to explore African folklore and life beyond the human experience. These stories, often retellings of popular tortoise tales, expertly wove in the urgent message of environmental degradation and its impact on flora and fauna, urging a critical reflection on human pleasure at nature's expense. Musical interludes added to the reflection with a vibrant performance of My Food is African, a song created for Echo Camp 2025 by the Young Environmentalist Network, TN.
My food is African, I am African, everybody is social, every taste is home.
Its original creators present at the event explained the rhythmic piece, creative process, and rich complexity, further commenting art's role as a tool for advocacy through thoughtful lyrics. The event highlight was a compelling address by the writer and activist Osareme Eboon Maje Kodumi, speaking on the role of art and creativity in socio-ecological transformation. Osareme Eboon emphasized the need for purposeful creativity, innovative approaches to complex issues, and the challenges posed by social media algorithms.
A lot of discussion have been, said about the environment. We can also contribute in that regard by documenting things. We thank God for the works of people like Sarobiwa. He's always so emotional, trying to recall his name. There are times you even try to imagine, maybe you even forget it, but you can't. Because what they did to him was very terrible. But the interesting thing, the cause for which he was killed still remains. And there are still people still fighting to ensure that it never becomes a past tense. And one of them is Dr. Nimo Bassi. I've given us this opportunity to stay in this gathering, to discuss, to charge ourselves, to become harbingers of righting the wrong of our society and saving our society from damnation.
We are the Young Environmentalist Network, like David said, just a group of young people advocating, just trying different means to fight for the environment. And this Health of Mother Earth Foundation is pretty much our mother foundation. We believe very much in the messages they carry, and we try to translate that to the young people.
This first series of Poetry Day, we decided to make it a combined effort of having poetry, storytelling, and music. And this came as a result of us having to partner with the Young Environmentalist Network, TN, because over time, the Young Environmentalist Network, they've done so much in terms of creativity, arts, music, and all that. And we've seen the need that we will not just focus only on poetry, on story, and all that. The music aspect of it is also poetic. And so we decided to bring them in on board in this first edition of the Poetry Day, and it has so far it has been a great one. We heard from the likes of Sankara and some other persons that presented their poetries, and it was mind-blowing. And the interaction section was great because we not only saw TN members that were just participatory, we also saw contributory members that were able to speak up, that were able to make comments, that were able to contribute to the Poetry Day.
The gathering aimed to underscore the significance of various arts forms in driving meaningful transformation and positive socio-ecological change, drawing on personal experience of being rusticated for activism. The guest poet encouraged purposeful creativity, even aimed at adversity, suggesting powerful small acts such as writing about local events. Mabel Obaseki for HOMEF TV.
Thank you, Mabel, for that report. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll go to Cross River State to talk about the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. Stay tuned.
I want to give a shout out to HOMEF TV. This has been spectacular. People here are doing an amazing work to continue this important discussion, conversation, and formation. So I want you and everyone over there seeing us to go to the YouTube video, HOMEF YouTube video, and continue engaging, learning, participating, commenting, liking, enjoying the channel so we can continue this collective space of learning. It's a collective learning space that we want to expand, not just here in the office, all over Nigeria and all over the world. So join.
We'll move over to Akwa Ibom State, where a group of 69 civil society organizations have expressed deep concerns over the proposed routing of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway through the Stubbs Creek Forest Reserve, a legally gazetted forest reserve in Akwa Ibom State. The reserve is considered a biodiversity hotspot and remains one of Nigeria's most ecologically significant mangrove freshwater forest system. Our correspondent Oduduwa Basi in this report stated that the groups were alarmed at the statement from the Akwa Ibom State government suggesting that it might pursue the reservation of the Stubbs Creek in order to make way for this project. The report.
The current status of Stubbs Creek as a forest reserve imposes a clear duty on government authorities to prevent incompatible land uses that will result in ecological damage. Passing a major infrastructure project through such a fragile ecological zone risks causing irreversible environmental damage, such as large-scale deforestation, disruption of hydrological systems, biodiversity loss, and severe threats to coastal resilience. Any infrastructure development within the reserve will therefore be inconsistent with the reserve's legal purpose and conservation mandate. The group's concerns are that the highway could be rerouted, but the environmental impact would be irreversible. Repurposing a forest reserve is a serious decision, and global evidence shows that such downsizing has resulted in rapid, often irreversible environmental loss. In any case, portions of the coastal highway have already been realigned elsewhere, demonstrating that alternative routes are feasible when ecological and social considerations are taken seriously.
The current status of Stubbs Creek as a forest reserve imposes a clear duty on government to prevent incompatible land use that will result in ecological damage. Any infrastructure development within the reserve would therefore be inconsistent with the reserve's legal purpose and conservation mandate. Our key concerns: 1, the highway could be rerouted, but environmental impact will be irreversible. As the statutory custodian of Stubbs Creek Forest Reserve, the Akwa Ibom State government has openly indicated its willingness to permit the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway to traverse the reserve. This position necessarily implies the de-reservation of all or part of Stubbs Creek as required under Volume 3, Cap 52 of the laws of Akwa Ibom State 2022.
The group urges both the Akwa Ibom State government and the federal government of Nigeria to act responsibly and decisively to prevent irreversible damage, stating that rerouting the coastal highway away from Stubbs Creek Forest Reserve is not only feasible, it is necessary, lawful, and very responsible, noting that protecting Stubbs Creek is not an obstacle to development, but rather an investment in climate resilience. They also unequivocally affirm the need for a protected status of Stubbs Creek Forest Reserve and refuse any land allocation or right-of-way approvals that permit construction within the reserve. Oduda Batiasuko for HOMEF TV.
In an era where ideological solidarity and shared vision are more crucial than ever, civil society groups visited a renowned thinker and comrade, Che Ibegura, in his hometown. The highlights of this event was a shared discussion on environmental justice and resilience building. Our correspondent Esile Ojanelu has the details.
In the quiet heart of Erema, Comrade Che Ibegura welcomes groups of comrades into his space sanctuary of thought, dialogue, and reflection. For decades, Ibegura has emphasized that true comradeship isn't merely built on shared struggle, but on the continuous sincere exchange of wisdom. During the visit, Che Ibegura highlighted several key themes, from the importance of intergenerational listening to the need to integrate traditional knowledge with contemporary action.
God is a spirit, and those to worship God must worship God in spirit and in truth. God should enter into our mind to live in the truth, first and foremost, and also to worship God in spirit. Once we are able to worship God in spirit, we have created a bond and established a networking between God and man.
In a time of rapid change and complex challenges, the message is clear. Comradeship, fortified by wisdom, remains one of our most powerful tools for progress. This visit underscores a growing sentiment among grassroots and intellectual circles alike, that the path to meaningful change is paved not only by action, but by reflection, dialogue, and mutual enlightenment. Esele Ojanelu for HOMEF TV.
Makoko is an important fishing community located in Yaba local government area of Lagos State, overlooking the Third Mainland Bridge, and has faced demolition since December 2025. The demolition squad, accompanied by armed security, have been bulldozing the community of 300,000 persons since the last week of December 2025, and most viciously from the dawn of the new year. By this condemnable act, the Lagos State government is displacing the people without due prior informed consultation or plans for resettlement, with no option whatsoever. Makoko people, who are predominantly fishers, have lived peacefully for more than a century, using the proceeds from their fishing to support families and provide shelter, some on stilts and others on land. Our correspondent Onome Etisuru completes the report.
The demolition of the iconic community extends far beyond the limits of 30, 50, and 100 meters from the power line that passes through the community, rendering thousands homeless and contributing to deteriorating human conditions. About 700 homes, 4 places of worship, 2 schools, and 2 clinics had been destroyed by the time of our visit. The Lagos Lagoon waterfront communities, comprising Makoko, Okoagbon, and Sogonro, are densely populated, underserved communities that are home to fishing families that have lived there in difficult circumstances for generations. The communities have historically faced periodic threats of eviction and demolition tied to the state government's urban redevelopment goals and mega city ambitions. Many households have had their homes and possessions destroyed without prior notice, leaving victims to seek shelter in canoes, which were being used as emergency sleeping platforms on the lagoon.
We are pleading and we are seeking for help if we can stop this, because this is not what government tell us. They told us to take 100 meters and we said fine, and we agree with them, but now things have gone badly. Even though it's my school, I put down my school day before yesterday because I need I spent a lot of money doing that school, building the school, and I have to remove it by myself because when the caterpillar comes, it will destroy everything.
Message to His Excellency our President Tinubu, like I want him to please come to our ends and help us in Makoko. All we are asking is to provide a place that people can move to. You yourself, you can see right from here, people are sleeping in the boats. It's not even safe for the children.
While visiting affected areas of Makoko to commiserate with displaced residents, it was stated that Makoko is a historic community that has existed for centuries and plays a vital role in Lagos' social and economic life.
This is complete abuse of human rights. Every citizen of Nigeria has a right, globally, everybody has a right to shelter. They have a right to live in dignity. They have a right to be respected. They have a right to have conditions that is suitable for their own existence and development. But government, by this action, has ignored all those rights. So this is a massive human rights abuse, community rights abuse. Every kind of right you can think of, the right to safety, the right to food, the right to water, everything is abused in this territory. This is an example of government impunity, and it's very shameful.
The Lagos State government has to take accountability for people that have died in Makoko. They have to take accountability for this displacement and do right, because they have set down rules right from the level of the United Nations, even the Lagos State's own policy on urban renewal, on eviction, have not been adhered to as far as Makoko and most of these communities are concerned. You do not prioritize people over infrastructure. You do not prioritize people over development. Urbanization has to be inclusive. Urbanization has to accommodate the poor, the have-nots, the urban poor. But Lagos State government over the years has not shown that care, has not shown its regard for the well-being and the reality that the urban poor has to be part of the entire social engineering in Lagos State.
Following the demolition, residents of Makoko took to the streets for a peaceful protest, demanding that the demolition be stopped. The Lagos State government, however, has ordered all demolition victims to vacate the area completely and stop sleeping in boats on the lagoon. The demolition of homes in Makoko is not merely an urban planning exercise, but a deepening humanitarian crisis with long-term socioeconomic repercussions. Residents face displacement, loss of income, disrupted education, and acute insecurity. Onome Etisiro for HOMEF TV.
Many thanks for staying with us. Please visit our website www.homef.org for more environmental stories. And I remain Kome Odomo. Thank you.